We're going live. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure you smash like and comment down below things about the Apple Keynote that you enjoyed, that you hated. But guys, today, just a quick live stream updating you on everything that Apple just dropped. They dropped some bombs today. They've been swinging their fist. Man, I tell you what, they have responded in a positive way to a lot of the things that people have been giving them some flack for with Apple TV Plus. We're going to crack into all that, but I'm just going to go through everything that happened in the keynote in order. I took some notes. I just wanted to talk through it all for you so you're up to date, so you know what's going on. But let's start with, they were like moving today. Usually the keynote, it's kind of slow paced. They bring up people, they talk about, with Apple, now we're able to do so much more with these in-game. They did a lot of in-game like showcasing where they show off a game. And they talked about Apple Arcade first. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. But it did not today. It was a quick run through. I think Apple said, look, you got like 5 minutes. That's all you get. So it was enjoyable from that standpoint. The whole keynote overall didn't take very long. I really enjoyed that it moved quickly, and I really thought, man, we're going to see something at the end. They're saving a little extra time at the end for something, but we'll talk about that at the end. But they started with Apple Arcade. They released the price, $4.99. You get I think maybe a free trial, 7 days. I haven't seen that on the website yet, but that will be released September 19th, so that's coming up. If you're a gamer, you like the iOS, or play games on your phone, that might be something you're interested in. And for $4.99, not a bad price. Share it with the family. From there, they moved on to Apple TV Plus, which is one of the things that really shocked me. Disney Plus, which will be a competitor to Apple, that's also launching this fall. Their product is going to cost $6.99 a month. Of course, you have these annual subscriptions that can save you money, but Apple says $4.99 for Apple TV Plus. And I was like, okay, they don't have much. I don't know much about their content. They released a new trailer called See, and it looks absolutely amazing. You should definitely go check out that trailer on YouTube. It might even be on Apple's website itself, but man, it is, I don't want to say it looks like the best show I've ever seen, but it's definitely interesting, very creative, very cinematic looking show, very HBO-like. A lot of people are comparing what Apple's doing to HBO. It looks like Apple's really trying to compete with HBO in their space as opposed to Disney Plus, although they will be competing as well. But to come swinging at $5 a month, and they also said if you buy an Apple TV or maybe some other products that are new, maybe we'll get a new Apple TV coming up, but we'll talk about that later. But yes, if you get an Apple TV, you're going to get a free year of Apple TV Plus. So those are some amazing things. That's going to be coming November 1st. And I thought it was going to be like a month trial, but they have confirmed that it's a 7-day trial. So you're not going to get to experience their shows for more than 7 days before you have to start paying for that subscription. But totally understandable because Apple only has a few shows launching. I mean, if you watch it for a week, you should know what you're getting. And if you had a whole month, then you would really get a really good free value there. Probably get to watch most everything and see if you really like it or not. But they're going to get you in. But as long as it's $5 a month, no big deal. So moving on, after Apple TV Plus, they talked about the iPad. They're kind of making a new version of the iPad. They said with this redesigned iPad, and then they showed a picture, and it looks exactly like the iPad that has come before it. It's very iterative. It's very Apple. It's running, I think, in like an older chip. It's not getting the latest chipset. But it's going to start at $329. So, I mean, I think it's running like the A10. Don't quote me on that. So it's an older chip, about 3 years old. But in the keynote, they said, and hook up a drive to this thing. And I was like, oh, no way. Are they going to put USB-C on this older form factor device? And I started looking into it. Got on the website after the keynote. No, there's no USB-C on this new 10.2-inch iPad. It's still Lightning, so you'll have to get some type of adapter. And that is actually going to be out September 30th. So if you're looking for a new iPad and not an iPad Pro, this is going to be their latest version at a good value. And they also have an educational discount. That's huge for $299. So if you're in school or maybe a teacher, you're going to get a great deal on a pretty sweet new iPad that has just been refreshed. So if that's for you, that's for you. All right, so moving on. From the iPad, they shuffled it over to the Apple Watch, and I really had a moment watching this keynote. I thought I was going to cry because they had some lives change stories, people who use Apple Watch and their lives have been saved because of it. And I know people in my own personal life who've had experiences like this, and it's just it's amazing to make a product that impacts people in that way, saves lives, and it really does. And they kept saying how many stories that they do get, and this was just like a handful that they kind of picked for the keynote. But I do believe it. I'm an Apple Watch user, and I've never had any alerts myself for health, but I do have friends who have been directly affected by this. So that's awesome in and of itself. And if you have watched previous live streams, make sure you hit subscribe. By the way, we talk about stuff like this all the time. So if you're curious about things like this, we're talking about it here on this channel. But Series 5 is really Series 4 with an always-on display. A lot of the internal components are the same. The only components that seem to be changing is some components that make it an always-on display, some efficiency changes. But as far as the battery life and everything else, it's going to be about the same. They don't tout a new processor, so I imagine it's using the same processing chip that's in the Series 4. So basically, the Series 5, the only reason to get it is for that always-on display. But nonetheless, it's really cool. A lot of bloggers and tech reviewers are saying, is there even need for a Series 5 because the Series 5 is so good and they really don't have any competition? So yeah, I kind of get it. So yeah, this year is kind of a meh year with the Apple Watch, but overall, man, it's a really cool device. One of the things that have a lot of tech enthusiasts juiced right now, and I'm just excited to see something new and some new building materials. We talked about that. You can now get it in titanium and ceramic, which are the more expensive options. But thankfully, they kept the stainless steel in the lineup. I thought they might go from aluminum to titanium and then ceramic, but for $100 more, you can get titanium from the stainless steel, which is now still starting at $750. But great pricing across the board. They have great price points. And then from the Apple Watch, they moved to the iPhone. And they talked a lot about the iPhone 11, which is just their standard, which is kind of replacing the XR. It's going to have 2 cameras on it, which is going to allow you to have more cool depth control on the camera. And really, this year's phone, nothing is changing form factor wise. Same sizes, same displays. The pixel density has increased, which is nice. They're calling it the Pro XDR display on the iPhone Pro, but overall, the phones are really geared towards better computational photography. And on the Pro models, you're getting the 3 lenses. We've talked a ton about the iPhone, so I don't want to talk too long about it because you already know that iPhones, the Pro models, the iPhone Pro and Pro Max, they have 3 lenses, and just the regular iPhone 11 has 2. A lot of the features are shared the same on that. One thing that's really important, battery life, and Apple is finding ways to make the battery life better. The iPhone 11 touts 1 extra hour battery life compared to the XR, and then this is where the huge jumps and gains happen. Or when you go to the Pro model, you're getting 4 extra hours of battery life on the the iPhone 11 Pro. Well, that's the smaller size, and then you have the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which is getting an extra 5 hours of battery life, and that is huge to get quite that big jump. And another thing that we will talk about a lot more in detail on another video. So make sure you hit subscribe, and we will talk about Wi-Fi 6, why that's important. But of course, these new iPhones have Wi-Fi 6, and that's going to be a game changer for people using that on newer modern networks that are going to be deployed in the future. So we'll talk more about that in another video. But we will move on to the things that hurt me. I was so crushed. Look, Apple fanboy, got my Apple Park shirt on today, and I was really excited for something new, something innovative. On the invite it said, by innovation only. I was thinking something new's coming today. Is it AR glasses? Is it Apple tags? Is it just a new iPad Pro with 3 lenses? Is it the 16-inch MacBook Pro? What could it be, Apple? Are you changing your logo? None of that. Absolutely none of that. Tim starts saying his closing remarks, and I'm like, okay, we're going to get something. We're going to get something. He's going to be like, oh, but we have one more thing. And nothing. They just ended the live stream. I was like, no. I was in tears almost. I was so upset. So upset. But let me just go through some of the things that we are expecting from Apple. They kind of have a regular cadence of a September and October event, so there's still hope for new hardware before the Christmas time shopping season that's coming up around the corner, Thanksgiving, all that. So one thing that we've been talking about for a year now is a new 16-inch MacBook Pro, same form factor as the 15-inch. It's just going to have, skinnier bezels and hopefully a fixed keyboard. Apple MacBooks have been having a lot of issues with the keyboard, so hopefully we're going to get a fix for that. And then we also have a new iPad Pro that's rumored to come with triple lens camera, just like the iPhone Pro. So it would make sense. All this new computational software and photography, you're going to be able to add that to an iPad and do some of the very same things. And I get it. Maybe they need a little bit more time to get this A13 Bionic chip, A13X, extreme version for the iPad geared up. They need maybe another month to get all the details worked out about that. Another thing that I really thought we would see but did not are what people think is going to be called Apple Tags, which is a tile competitor tracking type tag that you can use in iOS, integrated, made by Apple. Throw it on your wallet, your keys, you track them, and it will work with the Find My app that's built into your iPhone. Another thing, AR glasses. Min-Chi Kuo thought that they would go into production towards the end of 2019. We thought we might see something with AR glasses, even though it's way, way, way too early for that. Didn't see that as well. And another thing that's kind of been kicked around by a lot of different tech YouTubers is an Apple TV, just kind of updated with a new HDMI, 2.1, where you can support 4K at 60 frames per second, and a lot of things that are just new, like just overall a beefier processing chip for maybe better gaming experience on the Apple TV. So it makes great sense, and we still could see that if we have an October event and we see iPads, MacBooks, and an Apple TV. That'd be perfect for the holiday season, and people buying the new Apple TV 4K Extreme, whatever they call it, HDR version of the Apple TV. You would get, a year of free Apple TV Plus with that purchase. But overall, that is everything that you needed to know about the Apple keynote. If you want to watch it and get every little detail out, they talked a lot about computational photography and some very cool things that you can do with these new cameras built into the new iPhones. But overall, that is everything. I am going to jump off, but make sure you smash like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in our regular live stream on Friday, where we talk about, everything. But until then, I'll see you later.